Hello, and welcome back to Beyond Teaching, Season 2, the pandemic miniseries for Thanksgiving week. Food for thought. Is there such a thing as a run-on title? We're pleased to be returning to you on the Psych Sessions Network. This series is hosted by Susan Nolan from Seton Hall University, Adiyinka Akinseler-Smith from City College, New York, City University, New York, Asani Sewell from Pacific University, and yours truly, Eric Landrum from Boise State University. That's right, this is a 5-part miniseries all released during Thanksgiving week in the U.S. 2021. All of these episodes are pandemically themed. You know, the gift that keeps on giving, and were recorded from May 24th through October 4th, 2021. What are you in for? Oh, the places we'll go. Each day, Monday through Friday of the break, we'll release a new episode. You'll hear us discuss issues such as stopping the tenure clock, publication lags and research productivity, the challenges of campus mask mandates, vaccines and vaccine mandates, the joy and anxiety of returning to face-to-face instruction, online conferences and plausible solutions, DoorDash appears, the curmudgeon. You can guess who that was. Travel budget privilege, student pandemic sluggishness, frog swallowing, what? Weekend fun and hobbies. Beyond Teaching will launch Season 3 on Wednesday, December 1st, and we'll make one episode available for 10 consecutive Wednesdays in the same manner as we did for Season 1. In the meantime, please enjoy this Season 2 pandemically themed miniseries, suitable for binge listening over your break or whenever you want. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Teaching. Because of conflicts and scheduling, it's so nice to have the Fab Four back together again. I'm with all my colleagues. I'll let them introduce themselves. I'm Eric Landrum.
I'm Asani Sewell. I'm Yinka Akinseler-Smith.
And I'm Susan Nolan.
And we are so out of practice, as you can tell, friends. We're thrilled to be here with you. And we were just chatting before I started editing. And I know Susan doesn't think I edit, but I really do. But you won't know what this episode is about yet until we share it with you. But we were just starting to chat about the challenges that we're facing here in September of 2021 about campuses, discussing mask mandates and vaccine mandates and what campuses are deciding to do and how do you enforce those things.
Yeah, and you were kicking us off with this. You want to take a
Well,
look?
in our situation, for students who are in person or hybrid, the mandate now is that they must show proof of vaccination. I believe the alternate is to be tested either every week or something like that. And students are having a rough time with it. I've had students meet with me via Zoom in tears that they are feeling forced, pressured, not ready yet, and how hard it is. Because the truth of the matter is, if they are dropped, this has significant implications for their funding, for their graduation, and so on. And I'm just eager to hear what the situation is looking like in other settings, in other academic settings specifically. Because this also, by the way, has repercussions in work settings as well. Because I'm also hearing about it in the hospital where, again, you're in a hospital setting, everybody get vaccinated. And there are people who are in the profession who don't want to for a whole host of reasons.
So Yinka, on your campus, you said it's by a certain cutoff date, there's a mask mandate or weekly testing.
Not a mask mandate. It's
vaccine. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they have to be vaccinated. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Vaccine mandate or weekly COVID testing. Is there a convenient COVID testing facility on your campus or campuses?
I know that there is a convenient way to get vaccinated. I'm not so sure about the testing, but you are expected to produce the results.
Yeah. So on my campus at Boise State, there is not a vaccine mandate. There is a mask mandate for inside of every building, which is a little bit unusual in the fact that when I'm going to class, which I do on Mondays and Wednesdays to teach in person, you'll see swarms of students in between buildings without their masks on, and some faculty too. But as soon as people are pretty good about putting their masks on when they go into buildings. We have a really super convenient, of course, we're much smaller than your campus in Kent. We have a really convenient center on campus that does not only the spit test, but also to be vaccinated. And so it's super convenient. If we were to do that, vaccinated or tested every week, here at Boise State, they could handle that on campus, I think, fairly well. I don't know how convenient it would be for a student.
We do have a mask mandate, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
So at Seton Hall, we have a mask mandate and a vaccination mandate, but there are lots of exemptions. And the last statistics I saw, 15% of our students had asked for an exemption, and we're also doing it on the honor system. So you say that you got vaccinated. They are doing some spot checks with the New Jersey records, but many of our students and faculty were vaccinated in New Jersey, so they don't have any way to check outside of the New Jersey folks. And I've had already a lot of students who have, and I know this is geographical to call all over the place, who have been exposed or who have COVID. I have multiple students already of my own who have had COVID, have been exposed and are quarantining. And there are 58 official cases on campus, but I think that's an undercount. And I know that'd be typical. So I worry. I am in favor of vaccine mandates. And I wish personally they were more widespread, because the evidence is overwhelming that the vaccines work and are safe. And even though our students might not be, most of them, some of them are actually at high risk, but many of them are not. And yet some do still get very sick. We'll carry it to folks who are high risk.
It is about keeping the community safe more broadly, I think, with the vaccinations. I agree with you, Susan. So at my university, and I'm on sabbatical, y'all, so I'm sort of paying attention and kind of not, but my understanding at Pacific University is that there is a mask and vaccine mandate. We were required, along with students, to upload our vaccination records up into a sort of the health portal that they have online.
Yeah.
There was a date by which you had to do that or do the formal exemption process. And so through that, our vaccination rates are something like 96% or something, I think, of students are vaccinated. I'm not sure if that's true for faculty or not. Although I was just popping into my email this morning to get into our conversation today, and I saw that there was a positive COVID case. They've got to announce these whenever they happen. And apparently the folks that were in contact with two individuals actually, have been notified. So yeah. And classes are all in person. Folks are masked up, is my understanding. A lot of faculty are feeling not entirely comfortable with that situation, but that's how it is right now. And I think if I wasn't on sabbatical and was teaching, I've got some anxiety. I've got some COVID anxiety. Can I just be like real about that? And I know that some of my anxiety does not align with what the science says, but there it is. And so I would have a lot of anxiety about teaching in person, even masked. I would just feel a bit uncomfortable. So I wonder, Yinka, I know that you're teaching remotely. Eric and Susan, you're teaching in person.
Yeah.
How has it been for you to teach? I'm not sure if you have anxiety like I do, or if you're kind of fine, or what.
No,
like
I have anxiety, and some of it is not completely based in the science. I do understand that my risk as a vaccinated person is relatively low, and yet I have family members who I see who are at high risk. And I mean, I guess my anxiety is very much there. I think the part of it too that is hard is that, like many professors across the country, we're expected to be the mask police. So a student comes in to class without a mask. I actually have my own stash, and I will give them one. I did have one student one day leave and not come back when I said he needed to wear a mask. He did come back the next class, and now he wears one. But I'm constantly walking around the classroom going, pull it up over your nose. I'm just trying to be cheerful about it. It's an added layer of, it feels like the kind of classroom management that you don't expect to have to do at the university level, and suddenly we're doing it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. So so first off, it was amazing to be back in the classroom in August. It was delightful. I hadn't been back in the classroom full time for quite some time. So in August, 83 students. I'm teaching my capstone class. We're in a big auditorium style so they can spread out. There's about as much space as that we can enjoy. So seeing students face to face was really delightful. But, like Susan said, I do have to be a little bit of the mask police. And I've actually taken a box of masks and left it in the room so that when a student forgets, I have to make sure they take it. And we have someone on our campus who has the unhappy task of reminding instructors about once every 3 days about all the new challenges that are coming up. And so either whether it's slipping over the nose, or don't let students take a drink of water or eat in the classroom, or make them sit in the same seat every day because we're doing contact tracing. And so my job has become, in some ways, a little bit more regimental. We have a rule on campus that if someone doesn't wear a mask or refuses to wear a mask, I'm supposed to dismiss class immediately and then report that student to the dean of students the first time. And the second time, there's meant to be disciplinary action. I think the first time there is a note made on the student's record. And the second time, the student could be asked to leave the university. So I don't think it's a loss of financial aid. It's a loss of their enrollment.
Wow.
So the university is trying to take that seriously, that those students could be putting others at risk. I'm wearing a mask. Even in my office door is closed right now. If my office door was open, I would probably put a mask on only because someone could pop in. And even though someone in this building, because they're in a building, should have a mask on, I just could try to get in that habit.
Yeah, I'm doing my double mask. I've got my serious medical mask covered by the one that matches my outfit.
Very important, right?
All right, Missy Beers, I'm glad you're matching.
I think that's very important.
Missy Beers is my hero for the matching mask. She does it much better than I do, but I did try. But I hear you, Eric, about being back in the classroom. It was really wonderful. And most of the students are taking it very seriously. And I've had students even tell me, out of respect to my classmates, I've not been told I have to quarantine, but I know that I've been exposed and I'm not feeling great. And so I'm not going to come to class. And I'm trying to be flexible and work with those students to not have them suffer consequences of making the right decision, actually. But yeah, this kind of classroom management piece is really new to me. In the contact tracing, what's interesting is the university is not telling me when one of my students has tested positive for COVID. My students are telling me, and I'm also getting a medical alert, that's fully out for medical reasons, but it doesn't tell me why. I happen to know why, because the same student that I'm being told is out for a medical reason is personally telling me they have COVID. But I'm apparently, as an instructor, not considered a close contact of students in my classroom, which is, interesting.
That is very interesting.
I think because of HIPAA, they cannot reveal the diagnosis the student has.
No one's telling me that's true, but no one is telling me you have been exposed, Susan Nolan, right? So I know that there are students who've been to my classes who have been positive from COVID, and that I'm not being told that I've been exposed to COVID. I'm being told that a student is going to miss class for medical reasons, and then I am learning from the students that I have been exposed. And I've now purchased some of those at-home tests from CVS so that I can test myself.
Right.
Before I see people that I know are higher risk.
Yeah, this is the risk then that we take of being in person.
No wonder we have anxiety, right? I was just, when I was mentioning my anxiety, I was just like, well, this is kind of foolish, but these are the reasons why.
No, it's not foolish.
I don't think your anxiety is foolish at all. 2 weeks ago on Friday, I went to our testing center and got tested. I don't feel any symptoms. I just thought, I'm just going to go over and spit in a tube. And I did. When it came back negative, and it was like, all right, this system still works pretty good, and I'm in it. So anytime I want to, about 2 days ahead of time, I can go click on the appointment schedule, just go over there and get it. And that's one way I can reduce mine.
It's really bad. Yeah, we're not providing tests for anyone but students, so I have to do my own.
Oh,
See, and that is whack, frankly.
yes, I agree.
I mean,
Yeah. And this is why I do think that there should be some more guidance from above. Like our New Jersey governor is mandating some things, but I wish he would say, yeah, here's what you're expected to do so that individual universities don't have the leeway to make their own choice.
Right. Yeah.
But, it goes back in a way for me as I'm listening to you say that. I'm thinking of some of the other conversations we've had where, so what about people looking out for us too? I mean, yes, students are important. I agree. But, you want us to come happily to work and make these sacrifices, then take good care of us. And this is one of the ways you make us feel cared for and held by, it's not just looking out for the students, but also looking out for those who are providing the education for them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in a difficult balancing act. I think universities want to provide face-to-face instruction. That's the model that we've been used to for 200 years. But at the same time, it's much safer in many ways to provide online instruction. It's much harder to do quality online instruction. But I think some faculty members are going to start wanting to do that more, and some of our students are going to want that more. So I feel like we're going to keep experiencing this more push-pull or butting of heads about the revenue we generate when we have students on campus and all the good things that can happen when we have that community building on campus, but then the safety that we can generate when we have online instruction.
Absolutely. And one thing my university is doing is putting a big effort into creating new online courses. So you could apply and be able to work with an instructional designer this semester to turn one of your courses online. So I'm doing that with abnormal psychology, working with an instructional designer. We use Quality Matters, which I think a lot of universities use as the rubric to indicate the quality of the online course. I think that is a good thing in preparation to have more courses ready to be taught well online, I think is a really smart thing.
Absolutely. It makes a lot of good sense because I think that we're in this for the long haul. I think we have to sort of continue thinking about our plans and strategies for educating our students, given that this is going to go on for a bit longer now. This is supposed to be the summer of freedom. The summer of I had all these plans, all these things were going to happen. It was just like a tiny short window of like a few weeks, and then suddenly it was like, oh well, that was over.
You can still attend those super spreader events. Still go if you want to.
No, thank you.
Well, these are questions that we're going to keep dealing with. And I think it's important that the different institutions for which we work and also the professional organizations that we're part of, like the Society for Teaching of Psychology, these are issues that we need to address through the different places where our voices can be heard. And push for more safety measures, push for more good remote instruction so we can pivot the dreaded word more easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for all of us, we're wearing masks all the time. And I found that I was starting to get headaches sometimes from wearing a mask all day. I think because my breathing was getting really shallow when I wasn't breathing like I normally would. It's hard to get a big, full breath of air when you're masked or even double masked. And I had one of my wow, I wish you could see Eric's mask. When you find like, oh my gosh, this mask is getting hot, I can't breathe or whatever, I had a medical provider tell me, turn it into a breathing meditation and just take some deeper, fuller breaths in that moment when you're feeling like, this mask, I can't breathe, and just really trying to find and follow your breath. So I've been trying to do that, and it's actually been really helpful.
That's good. I'm going to borrow that tip and try it out.
I get headaches. I think it's a combo because in my larger classroom, which is an auditorium, I wear one of those little headgear things that is a amplifier because I don't want to be tied to the microphone on the stage. I want to be able to move around. I feel like a tour guide, actually. I need to get like one of those little
we're walking.
We're going to learn about PET scans. Yeah. So I end up with a headache because it's the headpiece, actually, even more so. Someone's like a headband and
bites on your head.
And I'm going to get back to my office, close the door, and tear off all of it and mask. Well, these are good conversations to keep having.
Well, we're going to be having them, I think, for a little while longer.
Yes.
Yep. And I'm just going to get all my courses turned into online, and then I'm going to buy a private island where no one can infect me.
I love it.
And I'm going to teach from there. And
sounds great.
If you quarantine.
There you go.
I am very glad to hear that the textbook business is going so well.
Oh my goodness, I don't have five private islands. It's not even, no.
I am so glad that Dolan and Hottenberry is coming along so well. That is awesome.
Let us in, let us in.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, it's all those peer-reviewed journal articles with all the money you make from.
Okay. Now that part we're going to have to edit because I believe that is misinformation.
Well, it's willful, so I think that makes it disinformation.
Yes. Yes, it does. Yes.
So thank you. Lovely to see you all.
Good to see you all too.
Always.
Thank you, friends.